Hello everyone and welcome to another Indeed Base Tour episode. We are going to see Jack MM Base. No, he is not a member of the Jackson 5. No, but we will find him. I know he's around here somewhere. I'm following what looks to be a planned path of beehives. Oh wait, yes, here he is. I see him in his garden. It's time to sneak. Attack! Oh, stupid hover mode. Attack! Ha!
Whoa,
Huzzah!
hey, whoa, 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 whoa.
Ha
No
ha!
fighting in my garden.
Base tour.
I suppose so.
Are you ready for this, Jelly?
I will never be ready for this.
Ha ha! So, let's see what you have here. Ooh, a very modern build. I like this. It's not so evil and dreading as, say, the last video I did. It has a very modern touch to it. It looks like
Well,
it's a very I destroyed a village and now making a home sort of area.
it's funny you should call it that, actually. That's kind of what happened.
Well, I'm seeing half-destroyed village buildings here.
Well, it's a bit of a giveaway. I considered
Yeah.
getting rid of those ones, but they're kind of nice.
Yes, and I see you have plans here for more buildings.
Yeah, well, I want to make a village that doesn't look like a vanilla Minecraft village. So this is like just a couple of days ago, and I haven't really decided what I'm actually going to do with it, like how it's going to look. So all I've done is lay out a few of the buildings, and then went back to working on my garden.
Oh, very nice. And what a lovely, I'm not even going to ask what that is over there yet. And what a lovely garden it is you have here.
Well, thank you. It's not much to look at right now. I've been tearing it apart for like the last hour or something and terraforming around the edges so it wasn't just a square. And the Britannia is just like basic setups. And I'd probably get more into it later, but I just did that for like the magnet ring and the sash that makes you speedy.
Ah. And I see you have a nice, lovely cobble path here, or cobble, whatever you want to call it. It's very
Yeah,
nice.
I'm trying to avoid making it really like techy. Like I know I could just throw a bunch of harvesters and do them in like 3x3 grids and whatever, but I wanted to actually make it look nice. So I think I'm gonna like expand where the trees are and make it look like an orchard, kind of like random gardens that look like they're flower beds, I guess. Hopefully.
Oh, very nice. And you have some sort of contraption here.
What? Where'd you go?
Over here in the water. What's
Oh,
this?
over there, yeah. That's gonna be my laser drills when I'm working on making all of the cryotheum to put into this big reactor down here. And then it's gonna power laser drills
That's
for
a
me.
lot of power.
Well, not until I get cryotheum, and I'm really short on niter, which is a massive bottleneck apparently. So I'm working on that, and I'm kind of hoping it's going to end up looking like some kind of power station for the whole village, because the whole idea of this like upstairs part is that it looks like not Minecrafty, if you know what
Yeah. It looks really nice. It looks like a launch pad. They put a rocket here in the middle and you take off to the moon,
I could do
which
that.
is right above us. It's like
Or
perfect.
maybe minus the actual taking off part.
Lift off. Okay, that's
That
nice.
was a pain in the ass to build though, because it was all in the water and I had to get rid of the water. And if you put sponge in like the middle of a lake, it all starts trying to float back into the square and then disappearing again, and it's horrible for your FPS.
Aw. Well, that's really neat there. That will be very interesting to come back and see when you get it up and running.
Yeah, eventually. I've got like, the entire thing's a work in progress, so there's so many different things I need to finish that it's gonna take months.
Right on. So let's take a look at this magnificent modern home you have here. Let's see all the tech that you have inside of it. Yeah,
um,
you've seemed to have progressed a lot in the game so far.
yeah, no, just automation out the behind in here.
Mm.
It's
Yeah, I can see that there's a lot of machinery going on in this house. Yep. There's a lot going on here.
I'm a very impressive player. Let's be fair.
I mean, you've been here for what, like, couple weeks? I mean, this is great progress. I'm really impressed. A
Mm.
magnum torch. Very
Yes,
nice. Very,
but no,
very
no
nice.
QED for it. I just sort of found it.
Wow.
No,
So,
we can drop down here, not the other one. The reason there are two and only one of them works is because the whole downstairs thing was built beforehand, and then I built this over the top, and I got it off center by one. So this is meant to be in the middle, but it's not. So there's just a second one that's just kind of there, so that it's symmetrical because I like symmetry. So we can go down.
just no OCD there. No. What do you mean go down? I see inside of you.
That's
Oh,
creepy.
hello. What is this? We've
So this
gone
is
from
the
we've
tech center.
but we've gone from the modern urban planter's life to welcome to the 23rd century.
I mean, I'm a man of many talents.
I don't even know which way to go first. Please, Jack, lead the way.
Okay then. This is kind of the base of my ME stuff. It was originally going to be an advanced genetics room, and I was going to have all of my like the terminal and stuff, my ME upstairs, and a few like basic machines just so I could manually do stuff, and everything else was going to be underground. And then the day that I was putting it together, I was trying to figure out a way to power all of the machines from advanced genetics without using their generator and a ton of coal. And I was
Hmm.
talking to I think it was Saruza and Collie about it, and Saruza suggested I used RedNet cables, and I'd seen a video where someone had tried that and it crashed the server, and they had to weld edit it out to get rid of it. So I was like, I don't think that works. But maybe it's a different version that's changed. So I went and tried it in single player, and it crashed me. So I came back and I was like, that crashes me. So Saruza tried it, and he was fine. And I was like, okay, maybe it was just a fluke. So I tried it, and it crashed me, which was fun. And then I couldn't log in for like a day and a half until they word edited it out. And when I came back, they decided to just remove the mod entirely because it was just so buggy. So I had this room, which I really liked. It was like the first part of this downstairs, apart from like that cross section in the middle that I'd done. And I really liked it.
Okay.
And I decided I wanted to use it for something that looked like it had been built for that, as opposed to just shoving things in here and being like, well, it's a nice room, so there's stuff in it. So I ended up moving the ME stuff downstairs. So that's what this is. Just some like I really haven't got much into auto crafting. I kind of like half-arse it for everything automated. So there's like 5 patterns or something in my auto crafting over here, and
You basically
then
get what you need to make discs.
yeah, one of the quests in the quest book was for like 7 64Ks, and I was getting to the point where I was starting to run out of space on my drive, so I was like, I might as well make those.
Why
Um,
not, right? I think that quest has actually been taken out.
As it? I thought they changed the rewards, but that was fine.
Or no, yeah, I think you're right. They changed it so it doesn't give you so many 16K drives.
Okay, yeah. I only got. I think I had to make 7, and you got 8 back. So I don't think. I think I must have done it. I did quite recently. I don't think I got the super OP thing. The whole drive is. I don't know if you're familiar with Soren and his Super Soren drive.
Super Soren drive.
So the idea is that you can basically build infinite storage on one channel of the main system by using storage buses and interfaces and just kind of stacking them. So that's kind of what it is, but there's no way I'm ever actually going to use that many. Um, so like the blue cable is connected like to the main system, and then each of the storage sections hold 6 drives each, and then an interface on one end and a storage bus on the other. And the storage bus basically lets it access everything in the second subnetworks um, drives.
As one channel.
Yeah,
Oh wow,
so
that's
it's
really
infinitely
neat.
expandable. I take no credit. I didn't like. I'm not an AE genius or anything. And
So
then
each one of these disk drives here are all connected via storage bus, and they all take up one channel.
no. The white one on top is if you look at the white terminal at the front, that literally just shows me all of my drives in there. That's what those storage buses on the top are. Um, Part where the blue cable that connects all of the drives together, that's a storage bus on the original network connected to an interface on the subnetwork connected to the 6 drives. So storage bus interface and then 6 drives for the 8 channels. And then at the other end, there's the interface which can read off the storage bus of the second subnetwork, which can look at everything stored on the next set of drives. So infinitely expandable sets of 6 drives that I'm never going to use for that because I don't hoard properly.
Damn.
But like I say, I'm not the genius who came up with it. I just kind of copied it.
I must go and copy that.
Yeah, it's excellent. And
Because I'm getting up there now.
I don't know how interested you are in seeing like the kind of backbone of the network. It will take like 10 seconds to stare at it.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's take a look.
Okay.
We spared no expense.
So I'm only using a new file. Yeah, there's holes. This isn't meant to be seen. This is like behind the
No.
scenes stuff. I only come here every couple of days when something gets screwed up and I have to fix it.
You do have a security terminal here.
Yeah, but it's not got any like you can access everything. I only built it to use the because you need it to link up the wireless terminal thingy.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the only reason I built it. So yeah, everything I've got 4 or 5 sub networks, and they're all coming off one face of the controller right now. So I've only got one ME controller because I decided not to build it in a place where you could see it, so I didn't see the point in making it look nice.
Oh, okay.
And it's just the basic P2P on one face, and then P2P is coming off that cable, so I can get normal cable, so I can get 7 sub networks onto this one face. If I want more, then I can switch it out for dense, or I can just go onto another place.
Damn, you really actually pulled out all the stunts to get the most out of your channel faces.
Yeah, like AE2 was really confusing for me at first, but I'm definitely not a genius with it, and I don't like pretty much everything I've done. I've copied off someone else. Like the whole P2P thing and sub network thing was Soren who just sort of figured it out, and I was just like, oh yeah, okay, I get that, but I didn't figure it out myself. And then one of my automated things, which I'll show you when we go into that room, was copied off someone from Reddit. So like I understand how it all works, but I'm not smart enough to have figured it out myself.
Well, that's how we learn. We watch other people.
That's true.
And that's the whole point of these space tours, so that people can see these videos and see how other people do things, and then they can, if they want to, incorporate it into their builds.
That's true. I'll be quite happy if
That's the
anyone
fun of
learns
it.
anything from my base, because I'm pretty slow compared to everyone else who's been like on the server from day one, and I wasn't on here the day that it launched. I'm pretty far behind. So
It's all good. So which direction is the next direction?
go this way.
Ooh, flowing redstone. Or is that blood?
No, it's red. Unfortunately, you can't use blood. I'm not very far in blood magic at all, so I wouldn't be able to use it anyway. But my plan was to switch out for Enderium eventually, and then Cryotheum if I ever needed it. But right now, it's at like 30 or 40% insertion for the rods, and it's constantly at 100%, even with all of my base running and my Ender Quarry running. So I haven't had the need to switch.
Dang.
I mean, it's not a powerful thing by any means. It's giving me about 6.1 kill RF. So like there are plenty of people on the server who have got much more powerful reactors, and I know that like the one that I'll be building for my lasers has to be more powerful than that. So it's not impressive or anything. I mean, I guess like
Well, you said.
go
Sorry, go ahead.
it's somewhat impressive that I guess everything that I run doesn't use any more than that. Like because I mean I'm surprised that I'd never had to upgrade or even reduce the insertion or anything. But in terms of like how much power it's producing, it's nothing.
Well, if you actually viewed the first video I did of the base tours with Emor system,
Yeah,
his produces 37,500 RF a tick,
yeah, which is ridiculous.
and his is pretty big.
Yeah, but he's probably not using. I mean, I know he's got more set up than me, but I doubt he's using even half of that because mine's running at 6,000. And
No, he's got a power meter onto it that actually regulates the power, and it only runs at about 24% most times.
okay, that's pretty smart. That's another one of those things that's like because I only half-ass my automation that I never get around to doing something like that, even though I really want to.
Yeah, there's a lot of neat little things, like there's a power monitor and there's computer craft programs you can put onto them to do that. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this game.
Yeah, it's brilliant. But I mean, I just one day I will, but I never normally get around to it.
I'm like you. I half-ass everything, get it to work to where I like it, and then kind of just make it continue to work.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I have like these machines over here. They're not automated at all. They're just so that if I'm like 20 glass short for something I'm trying to build, I can just whack some sand in there and do it. Like this still stuff that I do by hand quite a lot. So I've got one of each of the machines that I use fairly regularly, just for that.
But you see, That's where you and I differ, because I would have been like, nope, interface on that sucker. Here's your pattern done.
I'm starting to do that. Like, if we go upstairs here quickly, um, God, I totally
Huh,
failed
I thought
elevators.
there's only one elevator. Whoa.
So this is going to be where I put all of the machines that are specifically for automating
The
stuff.
automation.
So I've got a few things on here, and it's just going to be like a whole series of different sub networks in here, and I might not even end up making it look pretty because it's not really meant to be viewed. Like that's the floor of my garden that you can see up there. So I'm
Yeah.
starting to do that, but it'll take me a while.
Here, tip for you.
Mm-hmm.
Take this interface here, and if you put it into a regular interface that's an actual block, then you can actually make the hardened pulverizer and the magma crucible beside it actually export into it.
That's genius.
Well, the magma crucible won't actually export into it because the fluid's going to go down, but if you actually move that pulverizer over one and then brought that over and down, you could actually have the two pulverizers export into that interface. So you're only using one channel to maintain patterns on two different pulverizers and import from them too.
I hadn't even thought about sending things into the same interface. Like I've got
Oh snap!
import buses on the bottom, and some of these like can't be rearranged because like this pulverizer and furnace like they need to be together, and this crucible and transposer need to be together.
Yeah, just a thought, right?
But yeah,
There's 101 ways to skin the cat here,
yeah,
right?
obviously I can do a lot more to.
Sorry, kitty, I didn't mean to scare you. My cat's
Obviously I
right
can make.
beside me. She likes looks at me.
You think she realizes that you're talking about skinning him?
I know. She's like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, so I mean I can
No,
obviously
she's.
optimize this better, but I don't
Oh
really
yeah, there's
claim to be
always
good
room
at
for
this.
that.
So back into the actual automation. This like thing here with the hoppers and the chest, this is completely temporary. I'm trying to build loads of cryotheum, make loads of cryotheum right now, and there isn't really a very good like I'm really struggling to find saltpeter in the world. So right now I'm just taking sandstone and pulverizing it and up niter from it. So that's going to go away as soon as I have enough niter. Um,
Yeah, I saw you calling out for the saltpeter. You're like, is anyone get saltpeter?
yeah, I was practically begging. It's really shameful.
Well, it's not really used for much, right? So
Yeah, but it's also not really found. Like you can get the saltpeter in deserts, but that doesn't help because all of our uh, big scale mining is done in the deep dark. So yeah, like it has to be under sand, and that's not going to happen. And there's a few things you can pulverize to get niter, but like I mean, I would have had no reason until now to have started collecting it, so I didn't have any.
yeah, I just keep everything in the ME system. Just add drives. That's all you do. Add drives.
Yeah, that's. I mean, apart from these storage buses, this is because I set it up before I had. This is the output for my quarry, and I set it up before I had loads of space on my ME system, so it was kind of like a buffer. And then whilst the quarry was running, I started setting up these pulverizers and furnaces over here, which automatically have all of the ores exported into them. So they process.
Yeah.
So this was kind of like just temporary storage. And then when I had all the stuff set up, I decided to just leave them there and put storage buses on the back, just to kind of save on space, I guess. Like, I mean, now I'm at the point where I've got 8 64K ME drives that are completely empty, plus a bunch of others that I'm not using yet, so it would be fine. But at the time, I only had a few drives, and it just made more sense to whack storage buses on them. Plus, it's kind of fun, like once you
Yeah.
get into sub networks, being able to build loads of them. So like the bottom set is on a sub network, and the top set is on a sub network, and even though they're like 2 or 3 steps away from the main network, and this one over here is a step away from the main network, they can all access the main network. So that's kind of fun.
Nice. I'm glad you have that magnum torch.
Yeah. Yeah, so
As the blood moon rises.
it was especially bad before I built the mansion up the top because I just sort of had like a thing with a floor and a frame, and there was no walls or anything, and I was just getting attacked all the time.
Oh, no good.
So moving on.
Yeah, but you see that there's a good idea if you have something like, because Jabba barrels can hold a crap load of stuff into them.
Yeah.
So you could actually end up putting like all your cobble into there, like hundreds of millions of cobble into this thing, just by using storage buses.
Yeah, and it's a lot cheaper than a deep storage unit.
Yeah.
I've started using that on Agrarian Skies because I'm playing on that server, and I haven't got enough storage to put all my things just in the ME system. But I hate having just like a billion chests everywhere, so I'm starting to whack storage buses onto barrels for all the things that I have a lot of.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it's
So we have
very
two more
satisfying.
directions here.
Yes. So this is kind of like a farm area, I guess. It's really temporary. Like this netherrack was just because I need to make some potions for my Magnum Torch. So at some point, if I have the need for netherrack, I'll set up a proper farm. But it's
Yeah,
just
that's
there
enough.
for now. If you get close enough here, you'll feel yourself being blown around, which is
Yeah,
fun.
I noticed that on Mike. I
It's
get
even worse
this.
with step assist. Every
Yeah, I was
time,
just gonna say I get
yeah,
that on.
it just
Uh,
blows you up there.
Saruza gave me some little amulet or something when I went to the base tour with him, and he never wanted it back. And now, yeah, I'm just keep stepping up here.
Yeah, it
Stupid
can.
fans. You think the glass would stop them?
You would hope, like, but it doesn't.
Can you imagine
Um,
what kind of fan is that it can blow through friggin' glass? Honestly,
from that far away. I mean, it looks like an office fan.
I know that's what I mean. I wish my office fan was that powerful.
Yeah, I've got a USB one. If it was like half that powerful, that'd be excellent.
Oh, you're so cool. You can USB fan.
I'm not cool. I'm cheap.
Dude, you know what I want? I want that USB one can fridge that they have off of ThinkGeek. You put one can of pop into it and close the door, and you use your USB thing to keep it cold.
That sounds amazing.
It is. It's pretty cool looking.
That's incredible.
Tanks of Essence. So I guess a Blood Moon's really good for this area because it probably makes them spawn like mad. Or does Blood Moon have any effect on Cursed Earth?
I don't know actually. I've never like tried to find out. It's lit up right now because the tank's full and I'm not really using it much. Like I've got a bunch of safari nets for that spawner area over there, but I mean it's not like constantly running or anything. So got it lit up just because the noises annoy me and they don't spawn very much with the torch up there.
Oh, okay.
I think if I put it down one, it would stop the spawns entirely actually.
And he just falls.
So the last section of this is just again, it's really messy, and at some point I'll revisit it and make it look more structured. I really don't like just having like 10 layers to a base with lots of different crap on every layer. I'll show you where that goes in a minute. But that's kind of what this room has become. So I'll sort it out at some point.
Oh, I see what you have. So the harvester harvests the berry bushes and then passes them to the automated activator, which then makes them turn into experience blops, which then get picked up by the vacuum hopper, that then go into what looks like an item duct down, or not item duct, but a pressure duct, or a
Fluid
fluid
duct.
duct down there, and then the
Yes.
fluid duct pumps it into the tank for the essence.
No, no, no. It
Or-
comes out as liquid XP. They're two different things. The
oh yes, right,
essence
yes.
over here, yeah, literally just comes from the grinder and the mobs. I'll show you where the experience goes in a second.
Cool.
But this is just, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Ender lily seeds on, and then on ender cores goes straight into the ender chest that goes into my system.
So that's the
And then,
harvester, it's a planter underneath the middle ender core.
do you need to use a planter with those? I guess you would.
Yeah, because
Sort
once it
that out.
harvests, well, that's the thing. Like when you harvest it manually, you have to break the plant so you get an ender pearl and a seed. So does the
Yeah,
harvester just pick the ender pearl?
I don't know. It's like I put it in yesterday, and this bit doesn't get caught by my chunk loader, so it probably hasn't harvested any of them yet.
Yeah, so you probably need a planter in there to pick up the seeds and replant it. Unless the
Alright.
harvester harvests it differently than what you do manually.
I don't. I can't see why it would, but I'll watch it, and if it does, then I'll put a planter in there. See, we learn things from these base tours.
We do. Since I've done like 3 of them now. Have a wee bit of experience under my belt there, laddie.
So this is kind of just
I love this device just because its name keeps changing every time you look at it.
yeah. RW Tema in general is excellent.
Yeah, Quantum Ender Diviner.
Quantum emission decompiler.
I prefer the quite expensive device name.
I like anything that's got anything to do with ducks.
Quacking. Oh, quail eating ducks.
Yeah, or quite
Nice.
expensive decoration. That's the fair.
That yeah, that works good too.
But yeah, it's like I saw was it Imwa who's got like a bajillion of these things set up or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about doing that because this is like I never really use this. Like I use it for a magnum torch and that's it. So I didn't really see the point in setting up like a little room and spamming it with the Enderflux crystals. So I just sort of did this because I thought it looked quite nice.
Yeah.
And then when I came to do the uh, Magnum Torch, I needed potions, so I just kind of mirrored the setup on the other side, and there's potion racks and stuff.
Looks very nice. I like that.
Thank you.
It's
That's
like a
what I
little
was going for.
workshop along the side, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of the idea for the whole thing. This bit is probably the only like these two sections, and probably the only two sections my entire base that are 100% complete, except maybe the AE room. Because everything else, like I just when I need more things, I have to add it somewhere, and I have to add something to do that. So everything else is just a bit of a work in progress.
And all bases are a work in progress, and I'm sure that when I come back in like a month or so and say, "Hey Jack, let's take a look. Let's see how you've done." This thing will be completely different.
Yeah, I've probably ripped everything out and changed the color scheme. I have like the attention span of a squirrel, so I get really like I build something and I'm like, oh, that's really nice, and I come back the next day and I'm like, I don't like this. I change it.
Yeah. It sounds like Emor. He's already said, yeah, Bren, by the way, you know that base tour you did? Yeah, I've already moved. I'm like, really?
Yeah, he's a
Really?
fast builder as well.
You moved already? You bastard. Now I'm
Yeah,
gonna come back to you in like 2 weeks.
no, it'll be a lot longer than that. I was thinking actually once I get this to the point where it looks finished and I really like it, I might just start up another base and like leave all of this so it looks like it's still functioning and just take the majority of like the stuff out of the drives and whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to build something in a 3x3 chunk area. Because something that's really annoying about this is that if I ever want things to just run on their own, I need to kind of be here and sit here,
Yeah.
and I can't do that with the chunk loader because the base is big.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I did too. Like I didn't realize the whole build within a 3x3 thing. So when I built my base, uh, it didn't fit properly. So now me and Knight of Tempest are actually uh, this is a spoiler alert from my actual Let's Play series, but we're actually building a new base and we're fitting it inside of a 3x3 chunk.
Yeah,
So we're
it
redesigning
was
the whole thing.
yeah, it was a really smart idea. Like I wish I had thought about it, but I'd never really like had a need to before. I haven't been playing on servers very long. Like I played a few.
I'm
Well,
making
thank
a
you for your
donation.
donation, sir. Oh yeah, this is where the XP goes from the harvester in the other room.
I gave you 5 levels.
Well, thank you.
That was my donation for the video.
Every little bit helps, you know.
I know. Not that you have Orberry Farm or anything going. God.
Well, if it only runs when I'm online, it really doesn't produce that much.
That's true.
So this is what I need the experience for the most part. I've got like I kind of want to turn this into like a study slash mini library slash architecture type room, but I'm not sure how to do it yet. So I've just got all of my builder stuff here. I build a lot of things in creative, and then when I'm happy with them, just build them in here with builder because it's a lot easier. Because I'm a terrible builder and I have to go through like 10 iterations of something before I'm happy with it, and doing that in survival would be a pain.
So do you? So if I remember these blocks right, do you build the blueprint in the building library and then you put it into the builder and then it builds it for you?
Yeah, so you build whatever you want, like in a creative world or something. You
Yeah.
grab landmarks and you surround the whole thing, and then you put an architect library down next to it. I don't have one of those because that's like the copy part of the copy and paste, so I don't have one here. But yeah, you whack that down next to one of the landmarks, and then put a spare, like a blank blueprint into it, and it'll copy it onto that, and then you put it into the library, and you switch it over, and it saves it, so it's client side.
Okay.
So I can build anything I want in creative and then come over here and it'll be on this blueprint library here, and then I just grab another blueprint. And you can reprint them as well, so you only need one.
So
Um,
so you design it in creative, if I get this right. You design it in creative, and then because you use the same client to do the creative build, you're able to copy the design over to to your multiplayer server.
yes.
Okay, that's actually really neat. And does it maintain the block IDs that you use to build certain areas?
Yeah, it will. It's got like an option on it. So, I mean, I always rebuild it again in creative just to make sure because there are a few things
Yep.
that like I'm not sure if it will carry over, but I don't think it's ever had any problems. And even with carpenter blocks, it all and stairs and things, it completely maintains the orientation and like it will put the carpenter block down and then put the correct block into it, like the correct texture. It's really good.
So does it come back and say, "This is your"? Oh, someone's doing blood magic. Um, does it say like in there when you put it in the builder, it comes up and says you're going to need, I don't know, 4,000 cobble, 6,000 stone, 7,000 chiseled, 500 of this, five carpenter doors.
Yeah.
So
If
it gives
you
you a
right click
list.
on the yeah, if you right click on the builder,
Okay, one sec.
um,
Oh,
and
snap.
you can do fluids as well, so it will place like lava and water and things where you can just pump it straight in. I think that came out with like the most recent version. So yeah, it will just tell you that it only goes up to 999. So if you want like 4,500 or something, you'll have to just keep pumping it in there until it
Until it
drops
start,
below
yeah.
999, and then you know how much you need. But I've never done anything that big. Um,
That's actually really neat. I didn't realize Buildcraft had that capability that you could do it in single player creative and then transfer the design over. That's
Yeah,
really neat.
I'd always dismissed the builder as something that was like because Buildcraft's one of the really old mods,
Yeah.
and most of the older mods are really outdated. Like
Hmm.
there are only a few that really survived this far.
And I mean, like the
And
filler has been shite. Like it hardly works.
yeah, well that's because when it like I don't know how long you've been playing modern Minecraft, but when it did work, it was really abusable.
It
So they
was.
had to
I
nerf
remember when it worked back in like 1.3 and 1.4, but ever since then I've always had problems with it.
Yeah, it's a pain. I only use it if I've got other stuff that I can do while it clears stuff out because I just don't want to run around with a hammer and take the whole room out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd always dismiss the builder as just being something because I think when I first like started asking about it or looking for it on Google or something, it was something about oh it's a work in progress, it's broken, it's in the game, it doesn't actually do
Mhm.
anything, and I never really looked at it again until I think on the last map. I think it was Mr. Tubbsy. He said something about the builder, and I was like, I didn't like what's the builder? I didn't realize there was like a builder or anything, and he explained it, and I was like, oh the what's it called the Buildcraft one. It's like yeah, this is how it works. And I'm like that's amazing because I've been building things in creative and then taking screenshots and copying
Yeah.
them over into the main build. But you can just build it once in creative and then copy paste it into a world. It's
And you're
incredible.
sitting there going, "What the? You mean it's
Yeah,
I've been doing? You son of a."
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and all this time, Buildcraft of all mods had the answer.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
insane. See, now I have learned
yeah,
something new today, and I might actually go and
right. So
try and construct something in creative just so I can try this block now.
you should. I mean, it's not slow either. It's the only problem is that when it builds things, it will do it in a specific order, and I haven't worked out what it is. So it's not like it will do all of the cobble and all of the wood. Like it might do half the cobble and then it will wait to do the wood before it finishes the cobble or something. And it doesn't seem to make sense what order it does in. So it might like if you don't manage to get all of the resources in there at once, it might sort of stop and wait for you to put other stuff in, which is kind of annoying because sometimes like I want to build something and I don't have the resources for it or something, and I know that I'm gonna get them in the future, but I want to build the frame and I know that I can't do that. Like I have to wait until I have all the resources, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, that does. But I mean,
It
once you
sucks.
have them, though, it's literally just plopping them into a chest beside and saying build.
Yeah, I love it. So this is a new room, and it's really work in progressy as with the rest of it. So it's just I used this setup. Are you familiar with like the bibliocraft printing
No.
and stuff? Oh. Um, so you get any sort of you need to enchant a book in the first place, and you can use like the Ender IO
Mhm.
enchanter if you want something specific. I just sort of threw level 30 enchant onto books because I'm lazy, and just did that until I got what I wanted, and then or I put them onto my armor and then pulled them off with the
Okay.
disenchanter. But you put it in this thing over here, and then you something actually put in the back. I can't remember what it's called. I don't have any in there, so I can't tell you. But you put the book in on one side and the thing at the back, and it'll ask you for like it's normally about 40 levels for the good enchantments, and it will turn it into like an enchanted version of whatever this thing at the back is. I really can't remember the name of it.
Okay.
And then you grab that and you put this here, and there's like a stack of books in here, and then there's ink in the back, and then you put the plate or whatever it is in there,
It's like a
and it
template
will
maker.
print you three versions. Yeah, basically. So it will print you three versions. So like you start off with a protection 4 book, and you end up with three.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, and that takes levels as well. So it's like that's why I have the level set up. It's really quite expensive, but once you have a book with one enchant that you need on there, you can have it like as many times as you want.
Well, since it's expensive, I gave you 5 more levels.
I've enchanted my. I'm not sure I even need to use this anymore. You're welcome to go over and use it if you want, because I only really I use Tinker's tools.
Okay.
And my armor, goes on energy, so I'm never gonna run out of it. I would hope that I'm just indestructible enough that I'm never gonna die.
Well, here,
so,
let's test this. I'm gonna beat you with my beef. Come on, die, die. Oh shit, you got like 30 hearts. Never mind.
Like the most action I've had in months beating me with beef. So anyway, that's just what this does, and then you can put all your enchanted books into file cabinets, so that's fun. And then there's the anvil, and at some point I'll do more with this room so it looks good rather than just having blocks all over the place. But
Okay.
that's all it is for now. It's fairly new.
Okay, so for now, I'm assuming it looks like you got a little something that way. That looks like your place where you're gonna put your mining lasers and such.
Yes, that's just going to be the
Okay.
reactor. It's
Uh,
a stone tunnel, so we don't need
yeah,
to go.
no worries. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick pause here. We're gonna end part 1 because we're already at like a 40-minute mark in your video, and we're gonna mark this as part 1, and then we'll continue on with part 2, which I'm assuming there's probably a little bit more to your base than this. Since we've hit elevators, I'm assuming you have some hidden compartments.
I might have one or two.
Excellent. Okay then. So this is the end of part 1. Thank you very much, and we will continue momentarily in part 2. Thank you, and beef to you.